Welcome to the Drooniverse!
Hello and welcome, my friends, to the officially unofficial Elite Dangerous live stream with me. Yes, I'm afraid it's just me. It's not safe for me to come out now because it's me. And yeah, well, we know where that goes. The mutual insults will continue until they are cancelled, which could be at any far distant stage in the future. But before we get into any of that, we must do the thing because the thing is the thing. And there's been lots of chatting going on tonight, so I'm a bit confused as to who got first in the chat. But according to my screen, and that is the only arbiter of truth in this entire stupidity, it's Mr. Cyberdarby, but I don't think that's true, but that's what it says, so I'm going to have to go with it. Cyberdarby is first in my chat, followed by D. Pitman42. There's a long conversation going on there about stuff. So which I'm not going to read because it looks long and complicated. But welcome to you guys. Wintermute GB is in, of course he is. He's in third place. He's usually in there somewhere. He's in the mix. And that was a good hour before the stream started. So congratulations to all three of those. That's excellent. Cyberdarmy, Wintermute GB, and D Pitman 42. Thank you very much indeed. Top Shot is in there as well. He's still early doors, which is good to see. So well done for those four. Who else? And it goes on for ages before I can scroll down a long way before anybody else turns up. So who is it? Who's next? I'm still looking. It's scrolling down. I'm scrolling down. Here we go. Come on, the Tragic Blue 21. It's finally in fifth place, far down the stream. Have a Boo is here with customary 4 thumbs up, which is good to see. Thank you very much for here. Dear Rackets are here, poised as ever, facing off the invasion of the Harkonnens. The Harkonnens are also here. Planning their invasion of Arrakis, which got off to a good start in 2026, but has yet to show any fruit. But we'll see how it goes. Heberard 07, Commander, good to see you. Thank you very much for popping in. Commander Silent Double D is here as well. Sleepy D Wagon Man is awake and with us on a Wednesday evening, which is good to see. Commander Burn is here. Andy P783 is also here. Good to see you. That rhymes, of course, very important to point that out. Ethnification is here too. Good to see you. Who else do we have? Scrolling down, the Gnord! Yeah, the Gnord of Arg! Gonda. Very important Solstice Project is, of course, here with enthusiastic to-dos as per usual. Ugly Spirit is here as well. Good to see you. Thank you very much for popping in. Commander Alexix is here as well. Good to see you. The Enigma-ish is here. The scale of nothing to Enigma. It's the sort of end of the scale. Good to see you. Eridan Dundragon has done Dragon for this evening and is here with us now. It's good to see you as well. Fantastic. Who else do we have? Cyberdarby is here as well. Good to see you. Mart Gamer 01 is here as well. Good to see you as well. Thank you very much for popping in. Who's still else? Nordlander 42 is here as well. Electro Ace is here as well. Good to see you. Alexander Corbin is here. Gasper is here. Frank Miner 2949er is here as well. Good to see you. Is it safe? No, it's not. It's never safe. It's not safe for Drew. Anyway, says with WGV. Oh, it's just so cruel, but it's just kind of so welcome as well. Prince Hugo is here as well. Good to see you. Commander Engalo is here as well. Lati ___ is here with a hearty 07. And there we go. Right, so excellent. I think that's all of us. We're all good. We're all here. So welcome one and welcome all to the official Elite Dangerous. No, the unofficial official. Are we officially unofficial or unofficially official? No, I think we're probably officially unofficial, aren't we? I think that's the right way around. I can't remember what I've said now, but it's something like that. Ugly Spirit didn't just pop in. Thank you. He's been here for ages. Okay, apologies. So. Wintermute GB says, I'm not full here. Well, we've been aware of this fact for quite some time, my friend, but we'd like to reassure you, and we're providing a supportive ecosystem for you to exist in, so you don't need to confront such harsh truths of realities and things like that. So that's all good. Right, well, we've got a packed program this evening because we've got to go off and do some CGing. I apologise also for the continuing absence of the hat pin. A comprehensive search has been undertaken and has yet to reveal the whereabouts of said hat pin, so I'm a bit alarmed about this. It seems to have dropped through a wormhole. So I'm wondering if it's going to appear in the future at some point, having some sort of weird intergalactic adventure that I'm not being party to. But we'll have to wait and see. But it hasn't appeared again. It's most peculiar because I don't take it anywhere. It doesn't leave this room, so it's weird. But we'll. Maybe I need to get a new one. But this one's a kind of classic one. This is my old Elite one, so I'm a bit concerned. I do need to find it. It's not an Elite Dangerous one. It's an Elite one. So I checked. Is my hat on backwards? Check Ember's. Maybe Ember ate it. Maybe she did. Well, I'll leave that to somebody else to check that one. If she ate it in the last couple of weeks, then alas, it's almost certainly gone. Yeah, I don't know. The hat pins are probably quite rare. Is my hat inside out? I don't think that's actually possible. But yeah, maybe in dimensional space or something it is. But never mind. Anyway, we've got a lot to crack on with tonight. Now, I'm going to now, as you know, the Distant Worlds 3 expedition is kicking off on, I think it's Sunday evening, isn't it? Is it Sunday? We'll find out from the experts in a minute, because I have them waiting in the wings to join me again this evening as we embark on some CG stuff. So, with no further ado, I'm gonna cut short the waffle this evening. There will be some waffle because inevitably, it's just me. But I will go and bring them into the audio in a moment. Hang on, let me see if I can get this to work. I'm clicking buttons with a bit of luck. Some stuff will start to talk in just a moment. So there we go. I think I've done that wrong, but never mind. It should be working. Guys from the Distant World stream, are you there? Mention your name. Say hello. Excellent. Now, question for people on the stream: Can you hear them? That's the next question. Did it work? Apparently no. Oh, this computer of mine is not a happy bunny at all. Why is that not working? I set it up the same every time. Right. I can hear you guys. Right. Let me have a play here because something isn't happy again. I don't know. Is it deja? Yeah, it's not deja vu, is it? What I've got my microphone's working. Why have I not got? I've not got any game sound either. The main audio monitoring is not working this evening for some reason. Right. Let me just, for some reason it's just disappeared. That's really weird. Right, let me just capture audio output capture. Why is that disappeared? Heat computers. Right. Game sound. Should be lurking there now. Have we got? Can you say something again, guys?
Good evening, commanders.
Oh, now I've got a weird echo. Game sound was on for a second, now it's gone. That is not working. Yeah, it sounded like Daleks. Have I tried turning it up and on again? It's progress, but it's not the progress I was hoping for. Oh, hang on a minute. Is it this one? Try again? No, that is not. Oh no, it's just. It's not picking up. Why is it not picking up sound? Right, that's because that's not what I think it is. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. This is annoying. We'll bear with this on the stream in a moment. Why is it? Right, hang on. This audio device has disabled itself. Why does it? Right, that's something.
Sometimes your
Discord
changes its output. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've just got it working. Did that work? Did you hear something on the chat? Here we go. I think it's working.
Here we go.
Right. It's alive. There we go. I hate computers. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I start these things up sometimes, because I believe it or not, I do test it before I start, and it works. And I think I start streaming, or maybe it's the order I start things in, and it screws up. But anyway, there we go. Right, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a boost. Right, we have Commander Gasper, Commander Karnath, Commander Yannick in the Discord voice. So thank you very much for turning up, guys. Do you want to just say hello again? Just now that people can actually hear you, it's going to work a lot better.
Hello again.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Excellent. We are in fact cooking on gas now. So, guys, I mean, you must be like super busy. So I really appreciate you joining the stream this evening because it's departure is imminent. Is it not? Is that not right?
Oh yes, very much so.
This Sunday, so yes, it's upon us.
Fantastic. And I mean, it's probably worth pointing out for the benefit of A, me, and B, everybody else on the stream, is where and when are we where are we departing?
When or where?
Well, both, I think. I know it's Sunday, but yeah.
It's in the Orion cluster, isn't it? It's a specific system that we have noted down in our Discord, but it's not in front of my face at the moment, so I don't want to give out false information. But it's not, it doesn't roll off the tongue, basically, so we can't. It's not sort of memorized by me. We should have really asked Frontier for that, actually, to change the name of the system. But
yes, we should have like start position 1 or something like that. Yeah. So it's So, are you issuing instructions for people? How will people know where to go to start the Distant Worlds 3?
Well, hopefully they'll go to the website first and sign up there, and that answers a lot of people's questions. There's a very extensive FAQ, which most questions are answered by, and after that you should be pointed towards our lovely Discord server. And there's a lot of people in there who are very helpful. Even if you don't know what you're doing, which is a lot of people, you'll be helped out there.
Us included.
Well, I mean, it's such a big event, isn't it? That
oh yes,
there's a lot of complexity. I mean, I was looking at the roster, the sign up, and I think what have you got now? 6,500 players signed up. Yeah, which I suppose you can partly thank Frontier for doing a little bit of Xing,
yes,
as it were.
Yes.
But whatever. Do we call it tweets now? I have no idea. But it's something. Whatever they do on social media, that's it. So we've just had it in the chat there. Gnord Varga said, "Is it NGC 1981 sector ZUYD27?" That's really going to roll off the tongue, isn't it?
That's the tongue roller, yes.
Right. And what time? And I'm presuming this is in-game time. What time are you encouraging people to sort of be there? Because presumably you've got sort of an initial mass jump that you're going to try and stress Frontier's servers. Is that fair?
We've got exactly. No, that's the plan. We've got 3 separate time zones we're dealing with. We've got a European mass jump. We have one for the Americas, and we also have one for East Asia, sort of Australia, New Zealand kind of territory, sort of Asia Pacific. Fantastic. So hopefully somebody will find something among one of those 3 to jump. For the European one, we are encouraging people to be like arrived in system and on site instructions in Discord, etc. By about 7 o'clock in game time. That's 1900 hours, not 0700 hours, 1900.
Right. Yeah. So in the evening of Sunday for European players, and that's presumably UTC or in-game time, is it?
It's the same thing, isn't it? So yeah, exactly.
Yep.
100%. A lot of people aren't familiar with those things, but I always thought universal time is quite a good one because universal space goes without saying.
It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But I mean, I must admit, in the UK, we tend to talk about GMT and British Summertime, which of course means nothing to anybody outside the UK. And in the US, they've got 3 or 4 time zones, haven't they? And then Europe is got different time zones as well. I know, further afield, Australia and so on and so forth. There's going to be yet more. So UTC makes sense. I think at least it's one language we can all at least look up and find out where we go. So that's brilliant. So I mean, other than the exploration ship, just turn up, be in system, and join the happy throngs of things. Is there a particular player group you're encouraging people to be in?
Or hopefully people will join up with the FleetCom private group, which is one we've historically used, and not just for Distant Worlds, but many expeditions have used them as well.
Brilliant. Okay. So FleetCom private group at the designated time, which for Europeans is 1900 hours UTC, and then just see the happy throngs of explorers, which is going to be quite cool, because it's always nice to see a lot of players in game simultaneously anyway. So a couple of people in the chat basically said, okay, so that's when the servers are going to crash, is it?
Well, just a quick important update for the if you haven't yet joined FleetCom, the cutoff is tomorrow which will be at 9 o'clock. If you haven't joined by then, there may be a possibility we can't get you in to
Right.
FleetCom due
Okay,
to
so that's
the
the
time
that's
zone.
a
So
private group inside Elite Dangerous, isn't it?
that's the FleetCom private group, and you need to apply by tomorrow 9 UTC.
Brilliant.
PM.
Okay, I'm just going to find out why my stream suddenly turned you into Daleks there for a moment, because I've got the feeling I've got a. It sounds quite good, but it's not what we want for the entire stream. I'm just going to go back to the main prop because there's obviously an issue here as well. Which one is it? I think I'm going to disable that one just for a moment. Right, guys, just try speaking again.
Yeah, did I don't know if it come through about the deadline for joining the private group. Does that sound better?
Yeah, no, that's whatever that was has fixed itself. I think I duplicated it now. So although somebody else was basically saying, "Say exterminate," and we'll check.
I would have done as well. I would have done that all day long, all day long.
It's
so
got.
Yeah, I'll just go back. I'll go back to what I was saying before I turn
Perfect.
into a
Just
dog.
in case.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, and so the deadline is tomorrow, 2100, to join the FleetCom private group, or there is a possibility that we may not get the application processed in time for launch day.
I'm just looking at that actually, because I've got a feeling that my law character that's already hasn't joined that group actually. So I'm just looking at it on screen. I thought I had, but I don't. I don't see the list. So I better get on and manage that, hadn't I? So so walk me through. In that case, this is good bit of sort of training. How do I join the private group? So I'm going. Do I do that from social button in Elite Dangerous?
No, you can join the FleetCom server. There is there are instructions on there how to join the private group. There is a form that you will need to fill out first as well.
Ah, right. Okay, so I've got to do that via the FleetCom Discord, and then you'll add me in that way. Perfect. Okay. I will make sure I get that sorted out. Good time in that case. That's good. Right. So this evening, then there is a CG active. So I've seen that we're being encouraged to gather materials for some sort of deep space exploration program of some kind. Galnet is suitably vague on precisely what's going on here. Is there anything else you guys want to share about the purposes of the CG, or shall we just crack on and start delivering? It's always nice to know what we're contributing to. So anybody prepared to spill any beans at all?
We're kind of limited what we can say by Frontier. To be fair, it's like that's a lot of it. But it's sort of beyond we're building infrastructure, and it'll be somewhere in the black is like literally I think all we're kind of allowed to say, to be honest.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it.
Okay, so there's stuff's going on. Frontier's obviously in on the game because they've hosted the CG for you guys,
Yes.
and we are now being encouraged to ferry a bunch of stuff, which we'll get to in a moment. This is contributing to something that's going to help Distant Worlds 3 along the way, or something that's just out there, or is it totally hush hush? You can't tell me anything.
Yeah,
help the entire community, hopefully, and Distant Worlds as well. But it's a bit of both, I would say. That's I don't think we're breaking anything by saying that.
Fantastic. Well, what I'll do is I'll pop it up on the screen because let's have a read through what's been going on, because we normally pick holes in Galnet, so there's no reason why today should be any different. So I'm just going to pop it up in game on the screen here. So the Distant World, here we go. Third Distant Worlds Expedition requests materials for deep space infrastructure projects. And that sounds like you're building something significant out there, which sounds good. So I mean, the immediate thought is maybe there's a station, or maybe there's a carrier, or maybe there's a an outpost or something out there that's going to be created. So the Distant Worlds Working Group.
Thing, yeah.
Oh, yep, it's a thing. Excellent. That seems reasonable from the CG. The Distant Worlds Working Group has issued a call for mined and manufactured materials to support the construction of a new deep space facility intended to aid future exploration of remote galactic regions far beyond established survey routes. So that's interesting to me, because when you start to think about remote galactic regions, so I don't know what percentage we've got to of how much of the galaxy, because occasionally Frontier dumps a little statistic, don't they, of what tiny percentage of the galaxy we've explored, and I don't know what that is at the moment, but it's never been a big number, has it? It's always a tiny.
I think it's still around 1% or something.
Yeah, it's still single figures, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Less than 1%, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry about there's some dialogues came back again there, but I think I fixed it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't even got to 1%. So, but when you look at the sort of heat map of places that are travelled in the galaxy, the sort of between the core worlds, the bubble, and say Colonia is pretty well travelled. There's routes out to the Pleiades, obviously, and the Orion Nebula areas, which are well travelled as well. And then there are a few other sort of little spurs off that, and things like Bugle Point, you can see people have been kind of in that direction. So, but there's big chunks of the galaxy where obviously people have gone to, but by and large, not very many people have been to. So I guess we're all thinking. So Distant Worlds 3 is obviously going out there somewhere, but the details of the route itself are presumably a closely guarded secret at this point. Is that fair?
Yes, that's a good assumption.
Excellent. Right, well, we'll carry on with the gallant here. Hermine de la Rue, Executive Operations for Deep Space Service, stated the DSS has long-standing experience in supporting large-scale exploration efforts, most notably the construction of Explorer Anchorage during the Distant Worlds 2 initiative back in 3305. And this new project focuses on preparing a remote site for long-range scientific explorations, and we aim to establish essential infrastructure for survey crews venturing into seldom charted regions, which sounds very exciting. Independent pilots are invited to help lay the foundations for the next era of deep space discovery. And then Timotheus, is that right? Timotheus?
I think so, yes.
We'll go with that. Timotheus Haddad, quartermaster for an affiliated Distant World support carrier, added, the initial requirements centre on core construction needs. We're currently prioritising bromellite, power generators and thermal cooling units to begin establishing the primary framework. All interested parties have been invited to head to Alrai and register at Surveyor's Reach before delivering the required commodities. DSS are reportedly offering a Class 5 pre-engineered cargo rack to project contributors. That sounds like a thing that's worth having. The expedition itself begins on the 18th of January, and organisers have issued an open invitation to any commanders that wish to join the adventure. So there we go. So we have to deliver some stuff to the Alrai system. So that's the mission. So I'm just going to plug into the game here. I've got a few friend requests I need to ask for. That's good. Right. So
you have a new Caspian Explorer.
I do. Yes.
What happened to the last one?
Well, it's yeah. It had an unfortunate end. It's very dangerous going exploring, in this galaxy. So I've heard. So that's quite good. Which is excellent. One thing I learned from my last stream is don't, whatever you do, don't don't shoot at things when you are in an exploration vessel. Okay, that's a top lesson. So that's something that I should definitely never do again in the future. Right, now I have been to the Alrai system and I have signed up. Now I did do one initial delivery of bromellite just to sort of see how things work. Now that seems straightforward because I can buy bromellite from an average space station and then just deliver it to the Alrai system. So that was nice and easy. But what about the others? Power generators and I've already forgotten the third thing. Something else.
Thermal cooling units.
Thermal cooling units. So, well, Nordland's saying you can't buy bromellite. Well, I managed to buy something.
Probably off a carrier then.
Maybe it was a carrier. Yeah, maybe it was. I can't remember now.
Well, bromelite is usually is mined directly.
It's usually mined directly. Okay, so that might be why
Yes.
I got it from a carrier. Okay, so I think I cheated and used an aura to look it up just to sort of see how it worked. So I mean, okay, so let me get off the surface of this planet, and we will go and see if we can do now. Okay, so I have to mine bromelite. Wintermute GB is advising me to head to Pisceum sector. For what is that? What's that for? They got stuff. Because whilst it's fun, whilst I can probably do a quick, nice, ease myself into the game run by getting it off a carrier. I suppose I should try and do things properly and do some mining. I'm just thinking, have I got a ship that actually allows me to do mining? Oh, to buy thermal cooling units. Okay, well let's try that first. Okay, so I'm going to head off into the black. So let's try that. Pisceum sector. ISS A41. Haunted Loafers basically said, "Let me get off the surface of this planet." Quote, "That's me on Monday mornings." Understand that. Right. Fortunately, in this ship, it's only 2 jumps away, so that's excellent. Won't take me long at all. I have a team of flyers as well. So in terms of sort of navigating the Distant Worlds 3 expedition, then when we leave on the 18th, have you got again, imagine this is all in the Discord, and I should go and read that instead. But it's useful to ask you guys on stream because it's just another route for people to get the information, right? And it entirely hides the fact that I haven't read the Discord recently. It makes it look like this is a pre-prepared set of questions. Even better. Is there an initial waypoint that everybody has to head to, or an initial target jump location that people have to kind of aim for? Because obviously the mass jump kind of needs everybody to hyperspace to the same locale, doesn't it?
There will be, but we'll be revealing that on the day itself for various reasons. I mean, there is a certain amount of mystery involved in this expedition, and there is a certain amount of trust, but keeping with the histories of Distant Worlds 1 and 2, we don't usually reveal sort of any information like that in advance because, as people say, it's not a race, it's an expedition.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to, and I suppose the in-game sort of lore explanation is that the expedition planners are sort of figuring out the route as they go, depending on what their priorities are and what they're searching for and stuff like that. So that's worth keeping an eye on the story background as well, in order to see what's kind of happening in the meta around the expedition in game. Oh, I've just crashed into it. I wasn't paying attention and crashed into it. Is that a neutron star?
Don't
or
drive and talk.
No, that's right. Oh yes, okay, it's a neutron. Is that? Yeah, it is a neutron star, isn't it?
It's a white dwarf, I think.
Oh, is it a white dwarf? Is it? Oh yeah. I should really know the difference. Oh yeah, it's not oscillating the same way, is it? Oops. Never mind. Yes, I must admit, the older I get, the harder it is not to crash. I mean, this is a good example for why you shouldn't use your mobile phone and drive a car, right? Because if you try and use Discord while you're flying your spaceship, it doesn't work. It's very bad. So don't do what I do, okay? I'm just streaming this. This is not how you responsibly fly a spaceship.
And don't jump in a car with Drew.
No, and don't jump in the car. Actually, in cars, I'm very good in the sense that I don't like phones and things in cars anyway. But I should really be a lot more careful when I'm flying a spaceship, to be honest, shouldn't I? But there we go. It's yeah. Right, let me get back out of here. See if I can do it without melting my spaceship. Okay, Haunted Loaf has just bunged a link to the FleetCom Discord in there, which is good. For anybody who needs it, you'll find everything that you need in there, which will be handy for everybody. Right, I am now, I think, in the right system. So Wintermute GB, where am I going? in the system. Commander of Scorpio says, I can't really say anything either. I've just pranged mine on the right dwarf. Well, it's obviously the trendy thing to do. Is can you shipwreck yourself? Right. So I'm waiting for WinterMeet to tell me where I'm going next. I'm presuming it is.
I think someone that mentioned the station name in chat.
Ah, brilliant. Okay, the Quan Consulting Settlement is where we're going. I just need to find that. Is that a ground locale? There's lots of fighting going on in this system. Quan Consulting, there it is. I found it. Okay, so that's a ground-based facility. Right, let's go there and go and fill up with some stuff. Now, my ship isn't particularly designed, because this is the ship I'm going to be taking on the expedition, this Caspian. This as Andrew's pointing out, my second Caspian Explorer. We'll skip over that one.
Not going to be the last one.
Yeah, it's yeah, I hope it's going to be lost. I do have some cargo racks, but it's not actually my super big ship. So what I'm going to do, what have I got in here at the moment? I've got an inventory of, well, I've got 88 tons, which is not, it's not big, but it's not small either. So
do you have corrosion resistant cargo racks? I'm asking for a friend.
I don't actually know. So maybe
okay.
Maybe that's a subtle hint that I should sort some of those out. I wasn't planning during the expedition itself to be doing a great deal about hauling cargo. I might leave that to other people. But is that a subtle hint for Distant Worlds 3, just in general terms?
No, it'll be fine.
No, everything will be okay. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Okay. Absolutely no need for any kind of corrosion-resistant cargo racks at all on the expedition. That's good to hear. Excellent. So, right, I'm going to get down here and see if we can find some bits to contribute to the CG. Good to see you, by the way, Commander Scorpius. We'll definitely find a moment to hook up online as well. I've been a little bit busy the last little while, but we'll sort that out, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Something I never understand about Elite Dangerous here is it whenever I come down on the planet, wherever I go, it's always on the dark side. I just seem to be super unlucky. I don't think I've ever landed anywhere on the light side of a planet. Right, let's get down on the ground. I must admit, I do like this new Caspian Explorer in the sense that it does give you this much steeper approach angle, which, given my lamentable lack of flying skills, has actually been quite useful because I quite often get the approach wrong, and the Caspian is much more forgiving than the older ships. The only problem I have with it is it's sometimes quite hard to land rough on the surface because of its undercarriage footprint. So I do find it tends to be a bit hard to sometimes land, even on relatively smooth surfaces. So I'm wondering if I'm going to miss my Mandalay. But I like the idea of taking a bigger ship along with me anyway.
And truth be told, I'm actually taking both. But, it's just like my primary explorer is still a Mandalay, but the Caspian does have its uses.
Yeah. I haven't, I mean, I suppose I could pop along and dump the ships on the carrier, but I just like the idea of going my own way. Right, here's Quan Consulting. Oh, it's quite a big system. Right, proceed to landing pad 2, which is I think straight in front of me. Oh, that's nice. Look, I'm actually getting a half decent landing pad that's not on the opposite side. So that's quite good. Don't think you need to worry about it. I get that a lot when I approach these type of cities. Maybe it's the way I fly. Maybe they just it's true way going. Better warn him. But most of the time, I get a warning about my flying as I approach. And I don't think I'm being too bad. But there we go. Right, we're down. Excellent. So I am looking to buy some stuff from the commodities market, I'm guessing. So what am I looking for here? Is this power converters or the other thing I'm looking for here? What have we got?
I think you can look for both.
Okay, brilliant.
They should have surface facilities should have the same commodities.
Okay, so I've got thermal cooling units definitely. And power converters was the other one? Or power generators?
Power generators.
Power generators. Okay, so there's plenty here, which is good. So I can. Well, it doesn't really matter. Shall I take? I'll take 44 each, shall I? Why not? Then I've got. How does the CG count these, by the way? Do you know? Is it just the total number of things that you shift, or does it matter which type of thing I buy?
I don't think it matters what type you buy, but don't quote me on that. Though,
No, I was going to say I don't know. It's just numbers of goods. It's just tons of stuff delivered. Okay, well that
yes,
doesn't really matter.
It's units delivered. Doesn't really make a difference.
Perfect. Right. Okay. Right. Before I take off, I'm just going to see what other ships I've got. Okay, so I have got an Imperial Clipper, which is currently in my base at Ulexia. Let's just have. I don't know. I've got a feeling that one will have much larger storage capacity. But of course, what I can't do from here is find out exactly what the spec of it is because I can't remember. So I might let's do this run, then I might go and get it. Then we can contribute a bit more stuff. Okay, so we should now have 44 tons of thermal cooling units and 44 tons of power generators, and we are going to take them back to the Alarai system. Is there anything special about the Alarai system from you guys' perspective, or did Frontier just sort of choose that randomly? Because the process of how the CGs are kind of created is possibly a bit arcane, and a lot of players won't know actually how they work. So, from your perspective, how did creating the CG sort of come about?
We submitted a different location, but it was deemed to be too far from the bubble, and we were offered this one as a replacement destination.
So how far from the bubble were you? I mean, for a start, how wide is the bubble today? Is the bubble the classic bubble of Frontier's original systems, or does it sort of include the expanded bubble that we've been creating for the last few months? How big is the bubble? I mean, I'm just trying to remember now. Is it 100 light years across?
Definitely. In the olden days, I think it used to be 200 light years across, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's 300 light years or even more across right now, because I think over the last 10th month, 20,000 systems have been colonized. Wow. I think
that is a lot
with different branches going out to obviously to the Orion complex, to the California Nebula. Players have reached the Lagoon Nebula, and I think even the Omega Nebula.
Okay, so there's
all those Mass Effect
of linked installations going out, which is quite cool actually. The way it all sort of spider out into, and that's actually rather nice, isn't it? So if we say, and is that diameter then, you think, sort of generally in terms of 300 light years in diameter?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
I think it was 200 light years in diameter a couple of years ago.
Back in the day, yeah. And now it's got a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. And how far away was the proposed location for the CG then?
The first one was the first location that we proposed was actually in the Orion complex.
Okay.
But Frontier did not want that. We made another proposition. It was closer to the bubble, but still within the boundaries of the Shoulder of Orion initiative that we launched in March.
Yep.
that still wasn't close enough. So Frontier, yeah. Well, what should I say? Frontier made the.
How far away is the Orion complex? Just in light
I
years.
think it's around 2,000 light years from Sol.
Okay, so in my ship, which is 70 light years, that's how many jumps is that? That's yeah. I mean, it's a reasonable way, I suppose, but it's not something that an explorer is going to faint at, is it? But I suppose if you're lugging materials back and forth, maybe that's what Frontier were thinking. I mean, could you find the things that you needed to find out there, or would you have to keep coming back to the bubble to get them?
Well, the commodities players have been colonizing the Orion area for 10 months now, since the Trailblazers update came out, and we thought that all the infrastructure and all the industry and all the star system would be developed, would be colonized and developed enough to supply, yeah, source local to to supply the community goal in the local market. But apparently, I don't know.
Apparently
Apparently,
not.
it wasn't so.
Yeah, they just
But
so they basically wanted
the
the CG location to be a lot closer, or effectively inside the bubble.
I think so, yes, because the community goal is, of course, for all the players, and
Yep.
if you have a look at one of the third-party apps right now, the community goal has been going on for almost a week now, and all the markets within, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 light years are already dried out.
Oh,
So
really? Okay, so
yeah,
yeah,
the whole bubble is the whole bubble is in
it's
motion.
being ransacked for your CG. Excellent.
The
Scrounged.
just looking back through the emails that I've got, I think the system that we chose was roughly about the system that we chose in the other time round was about 350 light years away, but they wanted to kind of pin that down to around 220 light years.
Okay, to make it a bit of a trip. I mean, 220 light years is 2 or 3 jumps, isn't it, with some of the ships? But I suppose not all ships are going to have that sort of jump range. But
No, but it did need to be a deep space surveys system as well.
okay,
So that was obviously important.
So,
Yeah.
so they provide the location. Presumably, you provide the Galnet article, and then they edit it, and then they push it up onto the Galnet website. It obviously appears in game by the same mechanism, and then
Yes.
and did you decide on the things that need to be shipped, or was that a Frontier thing as well?
Again, we submitted a list of 3. I think from memory, I think they changed one
Right. Okay.
from what we picked.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's fair enough.
they swapped a trading commodity for a mining commodity
Okay.
for reasons unknown.
Okay, so they obviously have a bit of executive. Maybe they just want to fiddle with things just for the sake of saying no. We're going to change that because we're Frontier.
Yeah, it's the T11.
Yeah. Okay, and the reward we get this pre-engineered cargo rack as a thing. If presumably if we hit certain targets in the game, is that something that you came up with, or is that just something that they've decided as a CG reward?
Completely Frontier, that one. Yeah, did you catch that?
I think it was their prerogative on that regard.
Fair
It
enough.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah, I don't know why I've muted. Have I muted or not?
You were a bit distant for a second.
Yeah, you went quiet, but yeah, we'll
yeah, it was completely Frontier. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah. Okay, I mean that's good. I mean the fact that they've allowed you to have a CG and do stuff in the game. I mean it gives you a certain legitimacy to the thing, doesn't it? To have the CG reference in the game, because I mean there's a school of thought that basically says nothing is canon until it appears in the game, and I think if it's appeared in Galnet, which is obviously referenceable in game, then that kind of means it's absolutely 100% official. So it's quite nice before your expedition even begins, if you like, that it has been officially canonized, which is cool.
Definitely.
Excellent.
We are happening.
We have absolutely happening. Yeah, that's quite cool.
Come Sunday when it all falls apart.
Oh, poor old hamsters, they won't know what hit them.
I don't know. I mean, because with Distant Worlds 1 or Distant Worlds 2 that the servers did actually fall over?
2.
Two.
Yeah.
It was 2. It was 2. So presumably they've one would hope they've taken some notes.
We can only cross our
was,
fingers and hope.
it was
yes.
distant servers. Yeah.
Yeah. And that right, I've got landing pad 3. I'm going to go in to Surveyor's Reach. So Surveyor's Reach, this deep space survey, this is one of your vessels?
Yeah, it's what's the organisation called again? It was
Deep space surveys.
that was the one.
But the ship isn't one of our assets. It's obviously it's placed by Frontier.
Okay.
But it's the minor faction attached to it, the NGO. That's also the one from Distant Worlds 2 that
Brilliant. Okay.
constructed Explorer's Anchorage.
Fantastic. Okay, so there's a nice little bit of sort of lore link back to the original Distant Worlds, of the organisations that built and managed Distant Worlds 2 are still operating, all these years later and providing infrastructure and stuff. So it just sort of fits together in the game, which is quite nice.
We weaved a lot of lore into this.
Yeah, that's nice. It's good. I like a bit of lore, as you probably know. Right, I am here. So let us have a look at selling this. So commodities market. I need to sell the stuff I've got on board. I've got all the power generators, so let's sell this. I'm making, actually this isn't bad. I'm making a half decent profit on this trip as well, which is good. I'm making almost $1 million. I know it's a small change to many Elite Dangerous commanders, but it's meaningful to me.
It's 10. I think it's 10 times, isn't it? On the
yeah. Well, 1.6 for that one. So that's well. Okay, the thermal cooling units bagged me more money, so I'm going to bear that one in mind. Okay, so how do I check how I'm doing here? Presumably community goals. There we go. Right, so I'm signed up with a Distant Worlds 3 Deep Space Infrastructure project. I am currently in the top 100%, which is reassuring. So I would have to presume. I mean, do we? I see this has already got to tier 3, and there's 2 days, 19 hours and 12 minutes left. So people are still going to be contributed. Are you guys contributing to the CG, and how well are you guys doing?
Andrew's doing the best, I think.
I would have to check. I think I'm in the top 25%, and I hold something like 80,000 tons.
80,000. Commander Scorpio says he's in the top 75%. What sort of number of? I'm just going to ask the chat then. What sort of numbers of commodities have you done then, Commander Scorpius, in the chat? So Andrew Gaspar's done 91,000 tons. Commander Scorpius done 3,500. Okay, Gnorda Varga is 15.5 tons. He's in the top 50. Wintermute GB is in the top 75 with nearly 10,000 tons. So okay, so you have to haul a fair chunk of stuff to do that. So I'm not going to do it with this Caspian Explorer, that's for sure. 14k to get me a place in the top. Okay, well I'm going to go, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly over then to my Imperial Cutter, which is the new Lexia system. Go and get that, because I've got a feeling that's got a lot more cargo space. I haven't flown that ship for probably years. But it'd be good to get it out of mothballs and see if it still works. So I'm going to go and visit my home base. I haven't been here for ages. Pick up my old ship, and then we'll do another run and see how it goes. So 5 trips with the Panther Clipper gets you into the top 75. I'm not surprised. I'll do a few more runs and see what I can do. So let's go and get my other ship. I will do that. So that will be quite good fun. But say this one, I could go and buy a Panther Clipper. That's what I could do actually, but I haven't. Not sure I've got the time to fit. I suppose I could just run it around with basically everything, but yeah. No, I fancy getting my cutter out of mothballs. I'll give it a quick polish on the way out. See how it goes. Fire up the engines. See how it's going. The Panther Clipper holds 1,000 tons. Okay, so that's one heck of a decent cargo space, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Presumably for this sort of stuff, that's the ship of choice. Commander of Scorpio says, it didn't take me long in the Plipper. Is that what it's called now? The Plipper. To be fair, but I'm not known for ruthless efficiency. Okay. Oh, look, there's another white dwarf. We're going to be careful this time. I'm going to use my super cruise to go around the outside of it. So, in terms of time commitment to Distant Worlds 3, I think I've asked this before, but in terms of how long the kind of expedition is expected to last, and I know that there were some stragglers of Distant Worlds 2 that took several years to return, but exceptions like that, let's not worry about that. How long do you anticipate Distant Worlds 3 as an event sort of lasting? Is it months? Is it a year? How long do you think it's going to be?
Well, the plan is 4 months at present. Like you say, some people may take a decade to get back at this rate, so we'll soon see.
but you think about 4 months.
Yeah, that's the present plan is 4 months.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay, so we should be thinking. Is that for the entire thing, getting there and back, or is that just getting out there?
That's the entire thing.
That's the entire
beginning to end. It's 4 months. Yeah.
Okay, so it's it's a chunk of time, but it's not huge. Okay.
I think the good thing this time as well is though that I think there is a lift home where Distance World 2 we kind of disbanded at Beagle and everybody had to find their own way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long old haul, wasn't it? Yeah, I must admit.
Oh, yeah.
So is that a return in the sense of there's a carrier that's coming back, or is there going to be a magic teleport, or what? How does it work?
There will be some carriers will be holding people back. So yeah. Hopefully.
So rumors of some a magic time space portal at the other end of the mission are to be
we would love
that.
We would so love that. But
open a wormhole back to
There's always the R word, so
Yeah.
Well, yes, there is, isn't there? Yes.
the door that is also the key.
All of that good stuff, yeah. So, well, we never know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what Frontier may or may not put out there for us to discover. We'll have to. That's the whole thing about exploration. Of course, we don't know what we don't know at this stage, which is good, and neither should we. So, and in terms of sort of player time, on a weekly basis. I mean, obviously that's going to depend hugely on what players do and how fast their ship is and how far it can jump and all of those kind of variables. But have you got a kind of gut instinct for how much time a player would have to, spend in front of their computer to, meaningfully take part in Distant Worlds 3 on a sort of weekly basis?
Well, the meetups will be about 2 hours a week, and any travel. Let's say you have a 50 light year ship, which is not uncommon at the moment. I would say you probably have to spend maybe 3 hours a week sort of flying if you were just doing nothing but flying between waypoints. Right. Most people want to do more than that, so it does vary a lot because a lot of people have longer range ships, or they want to take their own detours, or so it is variable. Those are kind of the bare bones numbers, considering that. I know it says on the FAQs 33 light years, but realistically, most people are going to have ships that are probably further than that. I mean, you can engineer a side one to 40 light years with relative ease these days. So
that's good. Okay, so that's good. So brilliant. Okay, so that gives you a kind of entry level contribution time. And most players, I'd have thought, can manage that without too much difficulty, which is good. Okay. And certainly, I mean, obviously, we don't know which way we're going yet, but there are some stations and outposts and various bits and pieces out there for command. Any commanders who might accidentally damage their ship in the voyage. I mean, I can't think of anybody who would fall into that category, but. Just in case somebody prangs their ship out in the dark, there are places where you can get things fixed up, even if you haven't prepped your ship to fix itself. I'm imagining, but and you've also got you've got some official carriers that are taking the trip as well.
Yes, absolutely. We have 4 official carriers, and they will be taking the burden of not just transport, but also for a bunch of wholesales will be along, and no doubt some fuel rats will be in attendance as well. But
Excellent.
yeah, it's so that's the main thing. One thing I should sort of mention in advance, because this does come up quite a lot, and it's a big thing in our FAQs. Please, 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 whatever you do, do not bring your own personal fleet carriers. It is about as verboten as it becomes,
Right. Okay.
and
That's
it's
good.
like,
Yep.
yeah, that's definitely one of the big things we want to get across to everyone. Is because it's first and foremost a practical thing. Because if everyone brought their fleet carriers, no one could get into the waypoints, and we
Yep.
kind of need those to be clear, you know. So it is
So that
just a practical thing. It's
that
nothing to do with dogma or anything. It's
that's
just
something to
a
do with sort of
practical
game
thing.
limitations of how the fleet carrier mechanism kind of works, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's worth reiterating. Do not bring your fleet characters, everyone. Okay, just don't. Just leave them at home. They'll be fine.
Another thing to consider is that, and we had that during the Shoulder of Orion, which was a big hauling event. When people bring their own fleet carriers and they're clogging up the systems, the jump times for the fleet carriers they grow exponentially. We had 2 hours waiting time on the Shoulder of Orion event because of the amount of fleet carriers that people brought. And
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
speaking of 4 months, we don't want to spend 4 years out in the black. We do want that, but not because there are a lot of fleet carriers around. So yeah, like I said, jump times and jump cooldowns for carriers, they grow exponentially. So again, please don't bring your fleet carriers. We have bartenders, we have bars, and we have concourses on our carriers, and you are very welcome to stay there as long
Excellent.
as you want.
Excellent. Well, that was a question from the chat. Is do the Distant Worlds 3 fleet carriers have a bar? So you've reassured everybody, which is excellent.
Yeah, it's basically a flying bar with a cockpit.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's exactly what we'd expect to see. Yes, that's
Lavian brandy for everyone.
Right, it turns out that my Imperial Clipper was obviously set up for some sort of I don't quite know what I was doing in it really, but some sort of combat or something. But so interesting enough, that doesn't look like I can actually buy a Class 3 cargo rack here, which is kind of irritating. So there's less space inside this ship than I thought there would be actually. Shall I leave my shield generator at home? I could do just to do some stuff this evening. Let me store it and see if I can buy a big 7 cargo rack. There we go. That'll do for today. Maybe I'll just put a small shield in. I'm quite surprised by that actually. I thought I'd set this up as a cargo ship, but I think that must be on my other save. So never mind. Interesting enough, no, I can't buy. Stupidly, I can't buy another a Class 3 cargo rack there, which is mad. Anyway, that's given me a bit of space. So I suppose any of the commodities here will be for sale. Let's go and have a look. I can buy hydrogen fuel or bio waste. Nice. That's not going to work.
Speaking of toilets on carriers.
Yeah. Right. Okay. In that case, what I will do is let's go back and do another run with those. Well, I'm going to have to get my clipper out of the place. Now, where was the space? The Pisceum sector is where I was. Okay, let's get back to there. So I can do that in 3 jumps. I've got decent jump range on the ship, which is good. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful because I haven't got any shields now. But there we are. So let's hope I don't get any of those tasty pirates appearing. I suppose that's another question then. So official events or anything that you guys are running, is that effectively running in the FleetCom private group? And presumably there's rules of conduct in there. Is that fair?
Yes, FleetCon has always been a PVE group, as in like no PvP is allowed, and we're very much a peaceful explorer sort of group.
Okay.
Obviously, sometimes ships will crash and what have you, but the idea is like PvP is very much out of the question and always has been because we're trying to keep the group as secure as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
All events will happen within the FleetCon group. If you ever see people trying to make events outside of it in open, it's like they either don't know the rules, are not obeying them, or they are gankers trying to lure you, which is something that we don't talk about very much, but we should mention from time to time because there have been people known to try and track our expeditions.
Yeah, so I suppose it's a fairly
into open,
tempting target, isn't it? A whole bunch of, you know,
Yes.
and exploration ships generally are lightly armed and built for speed, not for combat. So they're easy pickings for combat ships. I mean, I suppose the question there is I'm guessing that's probably a problem quite close to the core. Does it sort of fade away the further away you get from the core, or do those nasty PvP type players follow you all the way out into the black?
Well, we hope that they won't, but you don't ever really know. That's the thing, because I mean, to be fair, most PvP people out in the community are absolutely fine. They won't interfere with other people's events. It's when we talk about gangers, we were talking about that tiny group of really hardcore ones who will just go to almost any lengths to upset somebody.
Yeah.
So I mean, the truth is, we don't know when some of those will strike. Hopefully, they'll just get bored and leave us alone. But we never really know, to be honest.
So if players see a Distant Worlds 3 event being advertised and open, it's not you, it's unofficial, and they should ignore it. Is that fair?
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, and that presumably goes for any other private group other than the FleetCon group itself. Nothing
Absolutely,
else is official. Distant Worlds 3 material. Okay, that's nice and clear. So that's good. Lightly armed, yeah. You mean the laser pointer? Yeah, if it's I've got a single gun on board. That's right. Yeah, just in case I need to charge things up. Frame, what's it done now? Frame shift drive has plotted a bad route. I want to go there. Frame shift drive cancelled. Jump exceeds fuel drive limit. Oh, I got to refuel. Oops. Oh, it wants me to supercharge at the dwarf. Oh, I see. That's why. I'm going to have to turn around and do that then. Well, this could go well. Let's try this. So, otherwise, where is the dwarf? So that's B. Where's I've got to go for A. There we go. So I've got to supercharge my frame shift. Well, this could be interesting with no shields. Let's see how well this works. I have, Andy P, you're quite right. I've got the route settings on jet boost, which I should probably have switched off, but in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's see how this works. Does shields help? Because I haven't got any, and B, I don't know. Do shields help with protecting your ship against white dwarfs? I don't know. I'll find out. I think I'm coming in a bit hot there. This always makes me very, very nervous, this bit. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this right. Just want to say, we're all counting on. Here we go. Woo! Okay. All I've got to do is sit in here for a moment. There we go. I've supercharged it. Nice. Okay, so that worked. I think I got away with it. Yes. Everyone's breathing a big sigh of relief. Especially me. Right. Okay. So, where are we going now? there's the ally system. There is where we actually want to go to. Fabulous. Right, 2 jumps. I'm so used to flying a ship that has nearly 70 light years of jump range. I didn't even think that because the Clipper, not the Clipper, the Cutter is not quite so well endowed fuel wise. I hadn't realised straight away what it was, but there we go. That's good. Good. So I'm going to just use a chunk of fuel this ship. So I suppose the other question that a lot of players might have is in terms of things that Frontier might give players on completion. Oh, I've hit the exclusion zone. Oops. Distant Worlds 2. I must admit I've got a decal for my ship, or one of my ships anyway. Is there likely to be a decal for Distant Worlds 3?
Right. I don't think I'm giving away too much by saying this, but at present, Frontier has given us like the indication that they will be doing a decal. They've not told us any of the details of this, but they have said yes.
So that's a nice.
So we can't tell you any more than that, literally.
Yeah.
So other than we think there will be a decal, as far as we understand, yes, there will
Brilliant.
be.
Okay, well that would be quite a nice, cool thing as well to be able to sort of stick with the ship.
I have one as well.
Yeah. So awesome. Okay, right. Let me see if I can get this right. I've got to do 2 neutron jumps, or 2 white dwarf jumps at least, which I probably should have switched off for the sake of the stream, but there we go. Never mind. It just shows the hazards of navigating a spaceship in this game. Oh no, I'm Presley ship. This is going well. I didn't even get to turn around before I could. I'm too close. Oh. This is like trying to do a 3-point turn in a spaceship. Show us your Distant Worlds 2 decal. Is it on one of these ships? That's a very good question. I don't know if it's this account or not. When we dock, we'll have a look if I can get back. White Dwarf's not worth a house. Shall I try replotting? That's not a bad suggestion actually. Let me switch off the boost option, and then so it's okay. It's managing it with 2 jumps anyway. So let's just go. There we go. I'll switch that off because it's a bit of a faff, especially with a ship like this. Okay, so yeah, so a decal sounds like quite a cool thing as well. That will be a fun thing.
No doubt.
Of course, the other thing I realised on my cutter here is I don't have a. It's amazing how fast you get used to stuff. I don't have a SCO drive on this ship either, so it's amazing how quickly you get used to things, and then when you fly another ship, I haven't got one of those. Yeah, we'll bear that in mind. It is. You do know it's a clipper. It is actually. You're right. It's a clipper, not a cutter, isn't it? That's why. That's why it feels small. I was thinking I had a cutter, not a clipper. No, you're quite right. It is. It is a cutter. It is a clipper. Let me get those two. I get those two so badly confused. Oh. Because in my head, the clipper really should be the Imperial Courier, whereas the Imperial Courier actually is a very, very small ship. And it shouldn't be. It should be a big ship because it used to be a big ship in the lore. And it's yeah, it's just far too confusing.
Well, that was it. Is an Elite 2 and 3, as you say, that the Courier was actually this huge sort of vessel for the Imperium. So yeah,
I think it was the Imperial Explorer.
That was the biggest.
No, there was the Imperial Courier.
Yeah, the Courier was the one with the 2 nacelles.
That was the stylish one.
Yeah,
the
that's
big
right.
one with the 2 nacelles.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Imperial Explorer was was another one which kind of had a sort of Blake 7. For those of you who remember Blake 7, had a Blake 7 vibe to it, with sort of three nacelles, a sort of triangular sort of looking ship. It wasn't as fast as the Imperial Courier, but it did look pretty cool. And I think it had a massive cargo capacity. You see, in my head, the Imperial Courier from Frontier Elite 2 and Frontier First Encounter was sort of a BMW 5 Series. It's a sort of car, sort of spaceship.
German car.
Yeah, exactly. If it came up behind you on the motorway, flashing its lights, you'd get out of the way. It was that sort of spaceship. It always reminded me of a BMW. It had that attitude, like, I'm in a hurry. You're slower than me. Get out of the way.
If I remember, the in-game description of the Panther Clipper was actually, if you ever want to buy out whole star systems, this is the ship to go.
Yeah. That was the original Panther Clipper, wasn't it?
What's the wiki called? It's Alioth wiki.
That's right. Yeah, that's the kind of a pre-Elite Dangerous wiki. Yep.
Yeah.
So old he remembers Blake 7. Yeah. So old he remembers Blake's 1. That's harsh but fair. No badge tonight, says Crispy77. Yeah, no, apologies. My hat pin, my Elite Dangerous, well, my Elite, shall I say, my Elite hat pin has gone missing, and it's of some concern. I'm still on the hunt for it because it can't be far, but I haven't found it yet. So no, alas, I'm bereft. It's either been consumed by my hat in the fit of pique, or I've just mislaid it. So
Sorry to jump in.
far away.
I was away making a cup of tea, so I do apologise. But I did hear you mention decals, and I can give you a little bit more information about the decals.
More information is always cool.
More information. So Frontier, they do have a list of all the waypoints,
right,
and it'll be at their discretion. And what they will do, they will be monitoring commanders that have hit certain waypoints through the expedition. I don't know which waypoints they have to hit or how many of them they have to hit, but they will be dealing with the decal side and assigning the decal side depending on a series of waypoints that have been completed.
Okay, so that's quite cool. So it's not a case of you go to the first one and you hang around for 4 months and then go to the last one.
No,
I did the whole expedition.
Yeah. I don't, as I say, I don't know how many you have to hit, but I do know you have to make a certain amount of waypoints.
Okay, so they're probably going to
before they'll
choose.
allocate one.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Did they do something similar with Distant Worlds 2, or was that just a case of if you said you were there, you got a decal? I don't know. I don't know how it worked. I can't remember now. I do remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I do remember that I got one, but and I did do the Distant Worlds 2 expedition, so I feel like I genuinely earned it, but I don't know. That's a good question. How did it work last time? Okay, so basically, but this time for sure, you've got to hit an undisclosed number, but certainly a number of the waypoints. Otherwise, you don't qualify for the decal, which will be a nice thing to have to say you went on the expedition.
Yes.
Cool. That's very cool. It'll go nicely along with the Crimson Brassard that I won from Frontier Elite 2. Do you indication of how many waypoints there are going to be, or is that a top secret thing? Are we talking dozens or hundreds or tens or?
It's more than 10 and less than 20.
It's more than 10 and less than 20. Okay, that gives us a sense. Yeah.
Also keep in mind that we hit about one waypoint a week, so that gives you some vague idea as well.
Okay, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Brilliant.
And and Metal League gives it away.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Sort of. If you're paying attention, it tells you a little bit more, but yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Andy Pipkin says in the chat, there's only one waypoint, the next one. Which is also fair, isn't it? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So that's good. It's probably worth, just while I'm doing this, because I probably ought to concentrate while I'm flying and landing, because this is the bit I get wrong. Just in terms of people in the chat on Twitch, any questions that you guys want to fire at the Distant Worlds organisers whilst they're here with us live? And I do appreciate you guys spending the time with me this evening, so thank you very much for that. Any questions from the chat for the Distant Worlds 3 organisers? And bear in mind that they are under no obligation to answer any of these questions. I'm just I'm just giving the opportunity for you to ask if they want, if they are able to answer. Some things might be top secret, but if they are able to answer, then do ask away. Do ask away, and I'll forward the questions on. Right, I need to get this spaceship on the ground now. Here we go.
As the Andy's mentioned there, that somebody wanted a kind of an explanation of Metalite. Is that correct?
Oh, Metal Eat. Okay, yeah, no, definitely do that one. That's worth because people on the stream will have seen it, but yeah, but they, not everyone will know about it, so it's definitely worth explaining that again. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Metalite is is going to be the narrative engine behind Distant World 3. Something that we've tried that's new this time round. There's a series of missions that are already in there that you can still complete today, and it's it's not a necessity of Distant Worlds 3, so you don't need to use it in order to take part in the expedition. But we do advise it because it kind of enhances your experience while you're on the expedition. And there's missions that are involved in there, NPCs, a lot of the narrative, or most of the narrative, or all of the narrative is being put through there as well.
Okay.
And yeah, it works in conjunction with taking information from your journal files and completing the missions through from there, as well as following a narrative.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's Meta Elite, which is a free download that people can just pick up and run alongside their game.
Absolutely, yeah. It just runs in the background alongside it. I shall pop a link.
Yeah, bung a link in the
for everybody
chat there.
in the.
Fantastic. I'm definitely flying an Imperial Clipper, which is good. Ah, yeah, but I've landed. That's the most important thing. Excellent. Right, I'm saving that. Okay, so Commander Carlife has dropped the link in there. Right, the next question. I fear there's been some silly questions, but we'll have to answer them anyway. Do you do you like Drew's intro music as much as we all do?
I can't remember what it
Definitely
actually
for
is,
me.
to be honest.
Yeah. The intro music is
Amazing.
my
Amazing
rendition.
intro.
Yeah, it's algorithm. That'll do. Yeah. Yes is the answer.
Too right.
Everywhere we go. Gnorl of Argos, are the experience points in Metro Elite useful for anything other than bragging rights? I'm guessing you can't. They're not a tradable currency you can use in game for anything, obviously, because that would require you to be way integrated into.
Yeah, I think
API,
the XP is just XP at this moment in time. It's it doesn't really much. There's reputations with the that you can earn with the NPCs and
Right.
mission givers. So there is reputation that you can earn with them, which again is based on the XP that you achieve with completing the missions.
Okay, so does that
But
influence what they do, the NPCs within Metro Elite, or?
No, not at the minute. No, so it is literally just an XP reward, which will build up, and you may be friendly with some of the NPCs, or you may be esteemed or not trusted. It's pretty basic, to be fair. I think the XP side of it will develop more as the Distant Worlds 3 expedition ends, and we kind of transfer transfer the Meta Elite software into the hands of the community to create their own adventures, which is the plan for after Distant Worlds 3.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there might be other things you can do with it in time then.
MetaLead is basically also still in beta testing, so the experience points is, like Karnath said, it's more an experimental feature at the moment that's being tested, and it will most likely be offered when Distant World 3 is over, and players can start creating their own campaigns and their own player faction based stuff, so that they can award experience points the way they see fit.
Right.
They could, of course, one of the things, I spoke to one of the developers today. One of the things they have in mind but didn't have the time to implement is awarding missions based on experience points. So basically, you have an experience gate. You need to be trusted to get higher missions or better missions. But like I said, that's yeah.
Okay, so that's a
Essentially,
mechanic that's
those are
coming
features,
potentially.
future
Yeah.
features.
So it's worth getting some XP in the event that those things do come in the future, because particularly if you open it out to other players to write missions and stuff, that makes it quite a cool thing. And they the more the higher level missions potentially we're going to require some XP before you can get them.
Everybody loves XP.
Yeah. Oh, you got to prove your worth, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Okay. Frank Miner asks, I fired off a form to join the private group, but if I've made any mistakes on the form, will I get an extension on the deadline to correct the mistakes? Write it down properly first, man. But I suppose that's
one thing that is, that's one thing is that the admins of FleetCom are finding quite frustration is misspelling. It is adding a lot of extra work to what they've got to do in order to vet you as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And obviously then process the application. So please make sure that everything is spelt correctly. Double check it, triple check it just before submitting, and everything should then go nice and smooth.
Everything should be all right. Okay, so check your homework before you hand it in. Always go there. Top Shot asks, can you confirm that bagpipes are clearly not allowed in Distant Worlds 3? That's
Very rare commodity.
I think that's they're not happy about me introducing bagpipes into virtually everything in recent streams since I've moved to Scotland. So hence the question. I don't know. I think we should, maybe there should be a Distant Worlds 3 bagpipe theme. I think maybe that needs some maybe it needs some thinking about. I actually today on a bagpipe related note. I have, and everybody on the Twitch chat will be delighted to hear this. I have got today, Amazon delivered my chanter, which is like a musical instrument that teaches you the fingering for bagpipes. So I've got this vague ambition to learn to play the bagpipes at some point in time. I'm already bemused by it because it's surprisingly difficult, and I'm not even talking about a bagpipe yet. I'm just talking about learning the fingering for a bagpipe, and even that is distinctly non-trivial, because it's many of you will have come across a recorder, which is a ghastly instrument that you give to children to put them off music for life. But if you've ever played a recorder, you'll know that the notes go in sequence down the shaft of the instrument. So you start off with high notes at the top and low notes at the bottom in sequence, which is fairly straightforward. Bagpipes don't work like that, as it turns out. You don't sort of play with them. You have got sort of random combinations of fingering to get different notes. So there's quite a lot of complexity in it already. So to see how my bagpipe expertise develops on time. But I have made a start. So quiver and in fear and trepidation in the Twitch chat, because I will inflict it upon you at some point. Rival X Horseman says it's such a cool. I think this is just referring to Distant Worlds 3 as an overall thing. It's such a cool idea, really awesome example of how awesome the community is. So I think you guys can take a pat on the back for that one. I don't think that's a question. I think that's just a statement of awesomeness. So well done. Right. Okay. Hang on. Have I got a? Oh, I'm finally coming out of hyperspace there. Nordlander42 says, can you are there any spoilers about the whole witch space mystery with Jasmina, Halsey and co? Is there anything? You probably can't go there, can you? I wouldn't have thought at this stage. Do you want?
There are many spoilers, but we don't reveal them.
Don't reveal that's otherwise there'd be spoilers, right? So yeah. So I mean, do you want to just recap a little bit on what's been going on there, just for the sake of any players who've not been following that, and where can they? Because it's not taking place in Galnet for reasons of sort of story density and stuff. Although you have had permission from Frontier to do it, haven't you? Which is quite cool. So do you want to just talk a little bit about what you're doing with that story, and then jump into the actual story in terms of what Jasmine is about and what's going on? That's probably a
Sure.
question that's probably Andrew's question, I guess.
First of all, yes, Frontier gave us the permission to use Jasmina Halsey because it's basically she is their intellectual property.
Yep.
But they told us that we could use her for the story. They are fine with that, and she is one of the more enigmatic or mysterious major NPCs. She was Federation president until she was caught in an accident, and then the story with her became rather metaphysical or
she had a
mysterious.
weird experience, didn't she? Yeah.
Yes, she experienced visions, traumatic visions. I think it was in 2016. Yeah,
It was a while back now,
2016
wasn't
or
it?
2017. And those visions eventually led to the discovery of the Guardians through one or two community goals that Frontier held back at the time.
Yep.
But then radio silence, Frontier discontinued or abandoned Jasmina Halsey's storyline for that we know, apart from her being alliance counselor to Mahon.
Yeah, she worked for the Alliance. He's not president, is he? He's prime minister. That's right.
Yes, she was at first she was his counselor, and then she went back to the Federation, and now she is a federal ambassador to the Alliance. Yes,
that's right. Yep.
And that's basically where Frontier left her, and we thought it would be a good idea because she is, like I said, one of the more interesting and enigmatic major NPCs to have her appear again. And like I said, Frontier said, yes, you can do that. And we came up with the idea of having her play a role in the Distant Worlds storyline. We introduced her through, I think it was the Ancient Mysteries and the Echoes of Galcop story episodes, where stuff was happening again. She, for reasons unknown, she faced her visions from the past again, more severe or more urgent this time. And through the story that you can find on the Distant Worlds homepage, there is a section for the entirety of the story that we came up with. You can read that up, and through a number of events, she essentially decided to join the Distant Worlds 3 flotilla to search for something of which she is not quite sure what it actually is. But it tugs at her, and it calls at her, and that's basically, without too much spoilery things, that's basically the storyline.
That's basically what's happening. Okay, and I suppose Jasmina is kind of an exploration-focused NPC, a major NPC, really, in the game. Because I mean, you wouldn't expect any of the main power play characters to wander off into the into the depths of space, because they've got stuff to do. Yeah, they've got leaflets to to write and things like that, propaganda to shift. But you know, but Jasmina obviously was out in the black and was rescued from the darkness, and so she's had this, you know, prior kind of weird vision of things in the depths of space doing weird stuff, which, like you said, led to the discovery of the Guardians. And yet the Guardians, I suppose this is where people can speculate on the story. The Guardians, you know, we discovered their ruins and their relics, and some of their stuff is still operating. And they've obviously had known interactions with the Thargoids and stuff. But the Guardians are an ancient race of beings, aren't they? And yeah, they're very much, as far as we know, extinct today. You know, they're just you know, they're a relic of the very, very, very distant past. Whereas whatever, you know, one can only assume whatever she's detected, whatever she's picking up, is still an active force today. So questions, right?
Yes, the whole of the Guardian civilization hasn't been discovered right now, and it's still rather poorly understood. We have engineer Ramtar's mission with those, I think it was 36 obelisks that need to be scanned.
Yep.
One of the very few elaborate missions that players can have in Elite Dangerous, where basically the history and the capabilities of the Guardian civilization are given through a series of scanning obelisks basically, and getting data, and that's pretty much it. We don't know very much about them apart from what Ramtar has been able to discern, and we don't really know how far their civilization was evolved and how far the civilization was spread across the Milky Way. We have some locations, but quite possibly not all of them.
Indeed. Okay, so that's an interesting sort of you know, a line of inquiry that might be pursued. Okay, so Cyber Army says great choice of central character, which is good. Gets the thumbs up there. And Andy P783 says we could be just rediscovering the Guardians or a whole new species ? Well, I suppose that's one of the reasons why we go exploring, is to hopefully find some stuff. We don't know, but we'll have to wait and see what's out there.
That's
Exactly.
a funny thing to say.
Yeah. Who knows?
All the antenna and all the radio dishes looking for intelligent life point away from Earth, so that's an interesting spot to go looking for intelligent life.
Exactly right. So that's good. Gnordavag has an interesting question actually. Can we kill Jasmina, or does she have plot shielding? which is possibly a bit unfair, but
she always carries her sawn-off shotgun with her, so approach her with caution.
Don't try it. Yeah. I suppose it's fair. I mean, she is a frontier IP, so I think anything drastic like that, putting her in danger, which is non-narrative related, I think is probably not something that is probably on the cards right now. It's probably fair to say, I think.
It wouldn't be a smart move.
It wouldn't be. It's not a way to get favour from Frontier, is it? Oh, by the way, we've killed your NPC. So no, I don't think that's going to be something that's that we're looking at this time around. Mindful of previous of lorry things that can happen. So yeah, we'll bear that in mind. Am I in the right system? I think I am. I'm just trying to find the right. There we are. That's where I'm going. Right, I'm still holding stuff for you guys. I'm just trying to remember where I'm going. Okay, so that's good. So we've got a bunch of players kind of rendezvousing in different places. We've got bring an exploration ship, but I suppose it doesn't have to just be an exploration ship. I mean, there are all sorts of roles that you can do in the expedition if you don't fancy just flying in the straight line. So what sort of other supporting roles do you have for players to take part in?
Well, the main one that we can think of is mining ships, because at some point we are going to need the assistance of miners along the way, and this has been sort of, I think after the exploration ship, that's the next most important one because it has a functional role for
Yep.
the entire expedition that everyone can then enjoy. Also, I will say, I am personally not that much a fan of mining solo. However, in a group, it becomes so much more interesting and so much more fun.
Okay.
You know, it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
actually genuinely enjoyable. Those of you who've done group mining will know what I mean, but it's not really a fun solo activity. But yeah, being in a group does add extra dimension to it. It's not just the interaction with other people, it's also putting together for a particular goal. And in this case, it will have a very direct impact on the expedition.
Okay, well that's a handy sort of thing. So, are you mining for resources for something particular in mine, or is it keeping? Is it just basically spare parts and keeping things going? Or what's the sort of thinking behind the mining itself?
If you want to get home, we need some tritium.
Yeah, that's the baseline.
It's basically keeping the return fleet carriers ready to go. Which makes sense. Which makes sense. Frank Miner on the chat is basically saying group mining is wonderful. He totally agrees with you, so that's quite good. And it's also a bit competitive, apparently, who can find the best asteroid. So yeah, humans being humans, yeah.
Yeah. The old Type 11 as well, the new Type 11, I should say, people are going to be hyper competitive. I mean, I do have one on my old account, but my main miner is actually still a cutter, which is still a remarkably good mining vessel.
I must admit, I
No
used
doubt
mine
most
for mining for a bit. Quite enjoyed
Oh.
that. But that's quite good. There's a question from Skyrus27. What ships are you guys taking?
We go one by one on this, or
Yeah, go from top to bottom.
Andrew, you want to start first?
What ships am I taking?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, I am taking one of the official fleet carriers, the Fimbulthul.
Okay.
And apart from that, I have a Mandalay, which I use as a main exploration, going out there, finding stuff ship. Next in line is my trusted Asp Explorer, which I had on Distant Worlds 1 and 2.
Excellent. Will you be parking it in front of things?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
I have a racing ship. I have a mining ship. I also used the Imperial Cutter as a mining ship, and that's it basically. No, I
Okay.
have a Fer de Lance. How's this thing even pronounced? Fer de Lance?
Fer de Lance is what I've
Fer
always
de
said.
Lance.
Yeah.
Fer de Lance.
Well, that's very French. I don't know if it is French.
Yeah. I have ships with corrosive resistant cargo racks for a friend.
Okay,
that's
so
basically
subtle
it.
hints are here again. Excellent. Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, thank you, Andrew.
Next in line.
Garnath.
Oh, that'll be me. Yes. So I'll be taking my my Caspian.
Okay.
I'll also be taking one of the official fleet carriers, the Odysseus, and I'll probably be taking a mining ship as well. And that's probably enough for me.
Brilliant. Okay, not too many to worry about. Do you know what type of mining ship? Is it going to be one of the specialist mining ones, or
No, it'll be a clipper.
a bear clipper?
I love the clipper. Yeah, you can't beat the clipper.
Brilliant.
Okay. I will not be commanding carry for this one, however, but I will. My main explorer was a Mandalay. Say my sort of secondary stroke sort of neutron jumping ship is a Caspian,
Okay.
and
Yep.
I will also have my mining ship, as I just said, is a cutter, so that's obviously a very good miner anyway. I will also have an Imperial Eagle as a racing ship, and yeah, those
racing,
are my
of
main
course.
ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is that in the FAQ as well as saying about different racing ships, and that's one of the sort of categories in there. And it's a very good little ship, actually. The regular Eagle's cool as well, but I think the Imperial is slightly faster.
Yep. Ah, okay. So, so in that case, well, thank you for the list of ships, by the way, guys. What about so in terms of bringing a fleet of ships along, is the plan for players therefore to effectively bring their ships to one of your nominated fleet carriers, make sure they're aboard before the 18th? Is that how that works?
Very much, yeah.
Okay, so if you want to bring a selection of ships, get them all across to one of the fleet carriers.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, every ship barring your initial mass jump ship, because obviously that needs to
Obviously,
be
that needs to be
in the
in
starting
space.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We recommend people bring their explorers for this one, just because obviously it's an exploration expedition
Yep.
and nothing else, and so therefore it just looks good. Everyone just has their explorers, and it'll look really cool.
Yeah, I mean the mass jumps. We've done lots of them on this stream as well, and they're huge fun. They look absolutely awesome in exploration, so that's quite good. Okay, so that's raised a couple of questions. So first time chat from Caligula Swift, racing ship. Basically, his question is what's that then? So tell us about racing ships in Elite Dangerous, and what plans are there for races in the Distant Worlds 3 expedition?
I really like the name. That's a very good, nice sort of Roman Empire reference.
It is, isn't
there,
it?
but yeah.
Caligula Swift. It's excellent.
Yeah, no, it's a tradition as long as there's been an exploration community in Elite to do races with fighters,
Okay.
or even sometimes with even our own exploration ships back in the day when we didn't have fleet carriers around. But basically, it's an organized race with one person being the sort of starter or even finisher, can be both at the same time in circuit races.
Right.
And you have a bunch of commanders will line up in their ships. Someone will do a countdown and they will be off around the circuit, or it can be a point to point race.
Right.
These things will usually be given a little map so that you'll know where you're going. It'd be a bit rude if we didn't do that,
Yeah,
but that's just the sort of standard one.
it's
Just
a
go off
race,
in
but
that
we'll just show
direction. You're
you where the
somewhere over
racetrack
there.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's the sort of standard race, is a point to point race or a circuit race. Obviously, depending on the terrain of where we're going, and they're usually a lot of fun as well. And most people enjoy them. It's like you don't have to be the best racer. Well, this isn't the buckyball racing, and no, so shade at X of the buckyball. I've done it myself. I'm not the best racer. I wasn't last, but it is a sense of just enjoying yourself more than anything else.
I always aim for that as a matter of success. I wasn't last.
I think for an explorer, you're not actually a racer. It's like that's actually a pretty good turn up. If you can not be last, that's a win.
That's good. Okay, so I mean, what the racing ships look like? Presumably they're stripped out rather like exploration vessels, but they're just literally optimized for kind of real world speed rather than jump range.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the usual thing with a small ship is like, let's say we're flying Eagles, for example. It could be a mixed race. It could just be one particular kind of ship.
Right.
But ideally, a racing ship, as you allude to, is kind of stripped down. You've got as light as possible. You've got the best drives you can get, A1s with drag drives and all the various engineering boosts that you can get to it. And that's basically the idea, is that to have a ship that's very powerful and very agile. One warning though is like sometimes you can actually build a ship that has such powerful sort of power to weight ratio that it actually becomes close to uncontrollable. So it's like it's almost like a dragster in that regard. It's like you go slightly offline and it just flies off.
It's good at one thing and not very good at that if it comes offline. Yeah. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. So, are you planning at the waypoints to have sort of events like that, sort of a race to sort of just celebrate getting to the waypoint, or sort of events that occur along the way for keep the exploration community amused? Yeah.
1,000%, exactly. At every waypoint, there'll be a variety of different events. There will almost certainly be a racing event at every single waypoint, just because people would enjoy them so much, and it's just something we do. It's just like the default, pretty much. Yeah, there should be like a choice of different events at every waypoint. We try and make a variety if possible, but as a default, there's sort of core events that we try to sort of do all the time as best the terrain suits it. One is racing. Exactly. Another one is mountain climbing. We have to find the right mountains, of course, but this is the one thing that the sort of old terrain pre-Odyssey actually was kind of much better at generating the spectacular mountains. It's harder to find good ones now, but you've got to search a lot more for them.
Okay,
but
so
we still try as best we can.
there are some sort of things. So when you say mountain climbing, is that climbing in on foot, or is that climbing in SRVs?
Usually in SRVs, we have tried foot ones before, but they take too long. It's like, because obviously you can't go very far. Or if we do, it's more like scrambling up a small hill instead of climbing a mountain. If it's on foot.
I suppose SRVs there's possibly a bit more fun and skill involved in it. Do you differentiate between scorpions and SRVs, or is it?
Not usually, because there's advantage and disadvantages of each type. The Scorpion's advantage is that it has a lot more torque, as far as we can tell. It has a lot more traction up a slope. However, it's not really as agile, so you can't really do the sort of SRV flying part of it so easily. So, I mean, up a mountain, a Scorpion might be slightly quicker, but if you're going, let's say, in a race, a Scorpion might be quick up certain sections of it, but then might actually then lose ground
Okay,
on
well,
others. So it will
that's fair
vary hugely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's SRV. Is there racing for SRVs as well, or is it just mountain
Oh
climbing?
yeah.
Or,
No,
there's-
absolutely SRV races. Funnily enough, we actually do often use some of the same courses for fighter races as we do for SRVs. Because
Okay.
I mean, it is not, it's always 100% thing. Because sometimes the place that the SRV just isn't suited to because it's too rocky or whatever.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're usually reusable. Obviously, the SRV ones will take much longer than a fighter. Fighter race usually lasts kind of 30 seconds, if that. You know, it's
Right,
usually
okay, 'cause
like
you're around
about
it so
10,
fast,
20
yeah.
seconds or something. Yeah, but just because it'll cover the distance so quickly. But the SRV is like, no, it'll be a good race and it'll be a good amount of time as well. So those are usually pretty fun too.
Excellent. So that sounds quite good. So obviously, in that case, then players are encouraged to bring multiple ships. Also encouraged to bring an SRV stroke Scorpion on there. Presumably on their exploration ship would make most sense.
We recommend actually the regular Scarab for most events more than the Scorpion. You can bring a Scorpion along, but it's just, I think, for most events, because it's more of the explorers sort of SRV, we tend to lean towards the traditional sort of Scarab in that regard, because it tends to be quicker as well for races. So
yeah, makes sense. I must admit, I prefer driving the Scorpion because it's just a bit more stable. But I suppose if you want ultimate speed, then the Scarab is the one you want. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. But there's a variety of other events that we'll be sort of trying out. Not most of these have all been tried at some point before, but there's a whole list of things that we're going to do. Some of them on foot, some on SRV, some of them in fighters, or even in other ships. I mean, let's say other ships. This is an extreme example from an earlier expedition that we may try. At one point, someone put together a Type 9 race. It sounds mental because it is.
Excellent.
And it's like truck racing around like regular racetracks. It's like, how do they do that? But some people do it, and this has happened before.
Well, why not? Yeah, exactly. I mean, racing, as long as the field's competitive, it kind of doesn't matter what's being raced, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that sounds great fun. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to concentrate again on getting this spaceship down on the ground. I think that must be it always gives me a pad on the wrong side. Anyway, there we go. And then now, a few people are pointing out there's now even bigger ships than the Type 9. So what's it? Type 10? Type 10 racing? Panther Clipper racing. We should try that.
Any ship can be a racing ship, if you want it to be.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you say, sort of like truck racing. I think that definitely sounds quite cool. Luna's Guides in the chat. Hello, Luna. Good to see you. Thank you very much for beginning. Yeah, okay. So there's a whole bunch of. So basically, the expedition is not only a sort of lorry, explore stuff, which is obviously its kind of primary purpose, but it's obviously a community stroke social event. Fun to be had. Come along, join the fun. Just interact with your fellow players. Playing Elite Dangerous, but with a sort of big purpose in mind, but kind of counterpointed by a bunch of individual, fun things to do along the way. Is that fair?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
That's a good summary, I would say. Yeah.
Excellent. That's good. Right, I'm going to do one more drop off here, and then we will visit the bar because we always do that. Clipper racing sounds fun, says Andy P. Panther Clipper, now called Clippers. There we go.
Yeah.
Right, commodities market. So, is there anything else that strikes you guys as kind of like we really want the community to know this, grab this, understand this that we haven't spoken about thus far?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that come out. Obviously, the other two guys might have other things to put in as well. But one of them is I can't remember if Andrew's already mentioned this, but obviously aside from the Meta Elite sort of lore, story arcs, etc. That there will be there's already story stuff that's being told within the forums written by Andrew. So that's that's the other part of the narrative sort
Okay.
of arc, as it were. And it's some stuff we've talked about so far, like the what was it? I'm looking at the Echoes of Galcop at the moment, for example, on the Frontier forums.
Yep.
That was put out in December. Is a very good example of it. So it's like there's the two kind of narrative paths there. Obviously, if you're just reading it in out of game, it's kind of a bit more of a passive experience in a way. But if you're obviously doing it in game with Meta Elite, it's a more kind of proactive experience.
Yep. So I mean, like you said, there's you can follow the story on your website, distantworlds3.space, which I think is a very cool URL, by the way. But you can also pick it up on the Frontier forums as well.
That's correct, yes.
Yep.
The other thing I was going to mention in passing is that one of our other major projects within Distant Worlds, which is also mentioned on the website in big, is the science project. It's a very broad thing, but it's obviously to do with like surveys of the galaxy, and you say the more sort of serious end of it. But it is we're trying to obviously like analyze the sort of various aspects of the galaxy and the way it's been sort of generated in as real a science way as we possibly can.
Okay.
And that would be Commander Satsuma sort of doing that, because it's built on similar work that he did on the Apollo 15 expedition, which
Right.
was also like a sort of survey trying to understand the sort of, how the galaxy was sort of constructed and its consistency at various points, and a whole bunch of other sort of related elements. And yeah, it is a major project of ours alongside Meta Elite. But again, like all the other things, you can opt in or out of these as you want, and it's but it is very interesting, and it is also very cool.
Okay. So there's you can get involved as much as you kind of have time for and have the inclination to. There's plenty of stuff to get yourself sort of stuck into if you're if you want to. So the more time you have and the more interest you have, the more things there are to do. You can bring along miners, racers, do science, do exploration, just follow on with the story, or just tag along and enjoy the company of your fellow commanders out in the black, which is pretty cool.
Try something new.
Excellent.
Yeah, for me, I'd just like to thank everybody for the support that they've given the Distant World team,
Brilliant.
and just hope everybody has a great time, and looking forward to seeing everybody on Sunday and then for the following months afterwards. So yeah, I just hope you really enjoy it.
Have a fantastic trip. Yeah, definitely, that's good. Caligula Swift just asked, how do we bring multiple ships? We have answered that question, but they answered I'll repeat it because it's really good. That basically there are four. I think you said four official fleet carriers. Will they be in the departure system? Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, so there are four official fleet carriers. You need to go to the FleetCom Discord, which if you guys want to drop the link in the chat again for the Discord. You need to go to the Discord first. That gives you all the details you need to find out the stuff. If you want to bring multiple ships, get all of your ships aboard one of those official fleet carriers. Keep your exploration ship handy on the evening, which is Sunday evening, for the mass jump out of the system, which is good. So you can have all your ships delivered to the fleet carriers, which is the way to do it if you want to bring multiple ships. But yeah, you need to get your logistics organised before Sunday, because otherwise the fleet carriers will depart as well. So that's the thing. So yeah, so plenty to get organised for folks. That's really good. Carl F, you got a bunch of 07s there, and people saying really looking forward to this. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your efforts in organising all this. So well done. There we go. And there's the link to the Discord in the chat as well. So feel free to drop into there. Any other things you want to tell the players in advance of departure?
Yeah, just as everyone said, enjoy yourselves. Show up, read all the various bits and pieces, the FAQs, and obviously people were there to help you. As I often said, I can't remember if I actually brought this motto up or someone else invented it, but it's always explorers help explorers, and that's been kind of pretty much what the exploration community has been in Elite since it first started more than 10 years ago. And it's kind of one of the things that makes it one of the sort of the golden things in not just Elite but in gaming. It's the most amazing community I've ever seen in across many games.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool observation. I mean, the sense of community around the game when these things get their momentum up and running, and Distant Worlds 3 is a huge expedition, which I think is going to be right up there with all the list of the best player-driven, the big huge events that there are. They it's a way to meet new people, make new friends, all sorts of cool stuff like that. So these events are fabulous for that sort of camaraderie in game. So yeah, if you're new to this and you haven't been on a deep space expedition before or any major player driven event, this is definitely an opportunity you don't want to miss. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So super stuff. Guys, just one other thought for me actually. In terms of Odyssey specific stuff, so stuff that requires on foot things. I mean, obviously there's exobiology and stuff like that. So that wasn't a thing, obviously, in Distant Worlds 2 because we didn't have any feet. Well, we did have feet, but we couldn't use them. Yeah, how's that sort of influence how you've designed Distant Worlds 3 and stuff? Because obviously Odyssey was quite different to the previous versions of Elite that we were using.
I suppose like it's not just the on foot stuff, it is also the fact that we sort of have atmospheric worlds does actually sort of make a
Yeah.
difference. We just have more worlds that we can use than we did previously. And that's a fairly big thing. I suppose you could also say that on foot, it does make it kind of humanizes things a bit more. They obviously not the actual person; it's almost an avatar of a person. But if you're sort of seeing a person get out of an SRV or a ship or what have you, it sort of makes it somehow a little bit sort of more relatable. In some ways, it's not in the way it's overtly maybe influenced us, but maybe sort of subtly influenced, I would say.
Yeah, I think the fact that we can all, if you like, stand around in our spacesuits in front of our SRVs, in front of our ships, God knows how many light years away from anywhere else. Does make it makes for quite a good photo op, doesn't it? But it's also, like you say, it's as close as you can get to actually genuinely being out there and doing some exploration, which obviously our generation of people is way too young to experience in reality. So yeah, so that I think you're right. There's that nice, make some new friends and meet some people out there and have fun doing doing stuff in space and like you say, have that human touch of the fact you can sort of stand face to face with your buddies in the darkness, which is pretty cool.
On foot stuff is also good for you have more room for shenanigans now. I remember when Odyssey was released and you had all these sleeping NPCs on the stations.
That's right.
And players, players first seem to think about how can I humor this how can I play shenanigans with this, and when
we also used
players
to sort of sit
found
alongside
out that
the sleeping guy, wasn't it?
they made selfies with they instanced 20 players around these sleeping NPCs and they were doing selfies and they were hiding behind the plants and they were doing all this. They were all pointing at those sleeping NPCs and making a whole lot of fun about this. So on foot stuff, more room for shenanigans. Plus, role play wise, players can meet on foot in instances on the carriers, in the lounges.
Okay, so they can chat around in the lounges.
Yeah. So for the communities out there who really are role playing stuff on carriers, it's also the opportunity to meet in the cantina, in the mess hall, or in the bar, and do some role play there. So lots of opportunities.
No, that's cool. That'll be a lot of fun, I think. It's good to know there's some shenanigans being planned. And I think the nice thing about shenanigans is they quite often spur the moment things, aren't they? That if you find some odd piece of terrain or something, and or can I get my SRV? How many loads of SRVs could we stack on top of an asp? All those sort of things. All good fun.
It's going to be Distant Shenanigans.
Distant Shenanigans 3, yeah. So that should be good. Right, I'm just going to head over to the bar, and then we will end the stream there. Guys, thank you very much for your time. And I think on behalf of the community, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say things on the behalf of the community, but I'm going to anyway. because that's what I do. Thank you ever so much for organising it. I mean, the sheer amount of I know what's involved in organising community events, and it's a huge amount of work, and it's often very much unsung in terms of the appreciation. So I'm sure I can say on behalf of myself and everybody on this stream that we very heartily applaud your efforts, and thank you very much for all the efforts you've done. And I'm sure the wider Elite Dangerous community is of similar thoughts, and would like to thank you for all your efforts, because there's thousands of commanders that are signed up for this, so I think it's going to be a pretty busy time for you out there as well. So thanks for all your efforts. Appreciate your time coming onto the stream this evening as well to talk about it. That's always good to have you. It's always a pleasure. And well, I suppose the rest of us really need to get our asps in gear and get ourselves over to the start system, ready for the expedition to kick off on Sunday. So, yeah, so good stuff. Thank you very, very much indeed.
You
Thank
are
you
very
for
welcome,
having
and see you in the black.
See you in the black. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, and Drew, don't forget to register your private group, FleetCon.
No, I will get that sorted out. I'll make a note of that instantly and go and do it shortly. So yeah, that's quite good. I'm just going to give a hearty salute to Commander Topshot and Commander Wintermute, who are here in the bar with me, and Commander Artemis Swat, who's running around like a loon in the bar. But that's what happens after you drink the Levian brandy, of course. So there we go. So brilliant. Well, thank you all, and thank you everybody in the Twitch chat as well. Apologies for the audio fun and games at the beginning, but we got there at the end, which is great. Well, the next stream, I imagine, will be we will have departed, so we will definitely see you out there in the black. So great success wished for Distant Worlds 3 and all participants. Fly safe, commanders, and have fun out in the space madness is already setting in. Yeah, that's the thing that we should have warned people about.
Has been for a year now.
Yeah, space madness is setting in. Sunday, be there with your exploration vessel, and we'll have a huge, amazing mass jump. That'd be a really cool thing to see. Take care, be good, and I will see you soon, my friends. Next stream, of course, is on Monday. Back to a bit of Star Trek, but we will see what we can do with a bit of Elite Dangerous next week and follow the progress of the Distant Worlds expedition as it ventures out into the black to boldly go where some explorers have been before. So that should be quite good. So that'd be awesome. Take care, my friends. Thank you very much. I will just sign off the stream and speak to you soon. All the best, Round Commanders, and 07.